I'm Richard. I'm 76 years old, and I'm about to give you 53 years of painful lessons in the next 10 minutes. Most people spend their entire lives learning these things the hard way. Some never learn them at all. They die confused, bitter, wondering why nothing ever felt quite right. I was one of those people. For over 5 decades, I did everything I was supposed to do, checked every box, followed every rule, and I was miserable. Then something happened. Something that forced me to see what had been right in front of me the whole time. And now, I'm going to tell you. Not because I want sympathy, not because I think I'm wise, but because you don't have 50 years to waste like I did. So listen to me, really listen, because what I'm about to tell you will either change your life or you'll ignore it and spend the next 5 decades figuring it out the hard way. Your choice. Let me start with the moment everything became clear. It was 2017. I was 70 years old. I was sitting in my financial advisor's office, and he was showing me projections, charts and graphs, proving that I'd done everything right. I'd saved enough, invested wisely. I could retire comfortably, live well for another 20, maybe 30 years. He was smiling, congratulating me, and I felt absolutely nothing. Actually, that's not true. I felt something. I felt cheated. Because I'd spent 50 years sacrificing for this moment, 50 years delaying gratification, 50 years telling myself just a little longer, just a little more, and then you can finally enjoy life. And here I was, 70 years old, financially secure, and I realized with absolute horror that I'd traded my entire life for money. I was now too old to enjoy the way I'd dreamed. That night, I went home to my empty house. My wife, Linda, she'd left me 8 years earlier. Took her 42 years, but she finally had enough of being married to a man who was never really there. I sat in my leather chair in my expensive house, and I started thinking about my life, really thinking. And that's when it hit me. Every single thing I thought mattered didn't matter at all. See, I grew up with a very clear formula. Work hard, make money, provide for your family, don't complain, don't quit. Success equals security equals happiness. My father taught me that. He worked in a factory for 43 years, came home exhausted every night, died 6 months after he retired. Never got to enjoy a single day of the retirement he'd worked his whole life for. And I watched that happen. I stood at his funeral, and I thought, that's not going to be me. I'm going to work smarter, make more money, actually get to enjoy my retirement. So, that's what I did. I climbed the corporate ladder, made partner at my law firm by 41, pulled in multiple 6 figures by my late 40s, built a portfolio, planned for the future. I was doing it right. Better than my father, better than most people I knew. Except I forgot one critical thing. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready to live it. My daughter Emily, she's 48 now, beautiful woman, successful, has her own family, and we barely know each other. When she was growing up, I was working, always working. I missed her school plays because I had client meetings. I missed her soccer games because I was in court. I missed her high school graduation because I was closing a deal in Chicago. I thought I was providing for her, giving her a good life, setting an example of what success looked like. You know what I was actually doing? I was teaching her that she wasn't important enough for me to show up. She told me that, actually. This was maybe 6 years ago. We were having coffee, one of our awkward obligatory meetings, and she said, "Dad, I spent my whole childhood trying to be impressive enough that you'd want to spend time with me." That sentence destroyed me. Because she was impressive. She was always impressive. She was funny and smart and creative and kind. But I was too busy chasing the next achievement to notice. I missed her childhood, all of it. Not because I was a bad person, because I thought there was something more important. than being present with my daughter. There wasn't. And Linda? God, Linda. We met when I was 23, married at 25. And for the first few years, it was good. We were happy. We'd stay up talking for hours. We'd take random weekend trips. We'd make each other laugh. Then I started my career in earnest. And slowly, year by year, I stopped showing up for our marriage. She'd ask me to take a day off, go somewhere together. I'd say, soon, when this case is over. But there was always another case. She'd try to have conversations about our relationship, about feeling disconnected. I'd get defensive. I'm working for us, for our future. She'd ask me to come to bed, spend time with her. I'd say, in a minute, and then work for another 3 hours. For years she tried. She really tried. And I kept thinking, she'll understand eventually. When we're financially set, when I can relax, then I'll focus on us. But there is no when, there's only now. And I kept choosing work over now. She left me when I was 62, walked out of a 42-year marriage. And you know what she said? She said, Richard, I feel like I've been married to a ghost. You're here, but you're not here. And I'm too old to spend whatever time I have left feeling invisible. I tried to argue, tried to defend myself, listed all the things I'd provided for her. And she just looked at me with the saddest eyes I've ever seen and said, I never needed a provider. I needed a partner. She was right. So let me tell you what I learned. The things I wish someone had grabbed me by the shoulders and screamed at me when I was 25. Lesson 1. Nobody on their deathbed wishes they'd worked more. I know you've heard this before, but you don't believe it. Not really. Because you think you're different. You think your situation is different. You think your career, your goals, your ambitions, they're worth the sacrifice. They're not. I've been to a lot of funerals. I've listened to a lot of eulogies. You know what people talk about? Memories, moments, times the person showed up, times they laughed together, times they helped. Nobody says he was amazing at spreadsheets. Nobody says she never missed a deadline. They talk about who you were when you weren't working. And if you're always working, there's nothing to talk about. Lesson 2. Time is the only currency that actually matters. You can make more money. You can't make more time. Every hour you spend working late is an hour you can't spend with your kids, can't spend with your spouse, can't spend doing something that actually fills you up. And here's the thing nobody tells you. You don't get those hours back. Ever. My daughter's childhood happened with or without me. It happened. I just wasn't there for it. And now it's gone. There's no amount of money I could pay to go back and watch her in that third grade play. Time doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It just goes. And it takes everything with it. Lesson 3. Your kids don't need your money. They need you. I gave Emily everything. Piano lessons, private school, college tuition, fully paid, a car when she turned 16, a down payment on her first house. And she'd trade all of it for a father who showed up to her soccer games. Children don't understand sacrifice. They don't understand that you're working long hours for them. All they know is you're not there. And that feeling of not being important enough for your parent to be present, that stays with them forever. Emily's in therapy now, has been for years, working through abandonment issues, because even though I lived in the same house as her, I abandoned her every single day by choosing work over her. Your kids are only kids for a tiny window of time, and when that window closes, it's closed forever. Every single thing you're working for can wait. Your children can't. Lesson 4. Your partner needs to feel chosen. Linda didn't need me to make more money. We had enough. We always had enough. What she needed was to feel like I chose her every day, over work, over golf, over whatever else was competing for my attention. Marriage isn't about the wedding day, it's about the 10,000 tiny moments after. The moments where you choose to be present, or you choose to be distracted, where you listen or you tune out, where you engage or you withdraw. I chose wrong 10,000 times, and eventually, she stopped asking me to choose differently. Lesson 5. Success is not the same as significance. I was successful. By every external measure, I was incredibly successful. Money, status, respect in my field. But my life had no significance. I didn't make a real difference in anyone's life. I didn't create anything meaningful. I didn't leave the world better than I found it. I helped rich people get richer. That was my contribution to humanity. For 50 years. You know what actually matters? Being there for someone when they need you. Making someone feel less alone. Teaching someone something valuable. Creating something beautiful. Helping someone in a way they'll never forget. I did none of that. Because I was too busy being successful. Lesson 6. Later is a lie you tell yourself. I was going to travel later. I was going to learn guitar later. I was going to write that book later. I was going to spend time with my family later. Later never came. Because there's always something else. Always another goal, another deadline, another thing that feels urgent. And before you know it, you're 70 years old, and later has turned into never. If there's something you want to do, someone you want to spend time with, something that actually matters to you, do it now, this week, this month, not later. Later is where dreams go to die. Lesson 7. The finish line doesn't exist. This is the big one, the one that cost me the most. I kept thinking, just a little more, just a little longer, just get to this level, hit this number, achieve this goal, and then I can relax. The finish line kept moving, always just out of reach. Because the finish line is a lie. There is no moment when everything is done and you can finally rest. There's always more, always. So if you're waiting to be happy until you achieve something, you're going to wait forever. You have to be happy now, on the way, or you'll never be happy at all. I'm 76 years old. I have more money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes. I have a big house, a nice car, a healthy retirement account. And I'm alone. My daughter calls me once a month out of obligation. My ex-wife is happily remarried to a man who actually shows up for her. My friends from work. We barely talk now that we're not working together. I spent 50 years building a life I thought I wanted, and I ended up with a life I don't even recognize. But here's the thing. I'm telling you this now, while you still have time, because I don't want you to end up where I am. You think you're different. You think you can balance it all. You think you can work crazy hours now and make it up later. You can't. I thought the same thing. I was wrong. So here's what I want you to do right now, today. Look at your calendar. Look at where your time is actually going. If your work is taking more time than your family, than your health, than the things that actually matter, something is wrong. Fix it. Call your parents. Visit them. Not when it's convenient. Now, play with your kids. Get on the floor and play with them. Put your phone in another room and be fully present. Take your partner on a date, a real date, and talk to them. Ask them how they're doing. Listen to the answer. Do the thing you've been putting off. Write the book. Take the trip. Learn the skill. Stop waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time doesn't exist. There's only now. I can't get my 50 years back. They're gone. But you still have your time. Don't waste it the way I wasted mine. Because here's what I know now, what took me 5 decades to learn. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is the show. And every moment you spend waiting for it to start is a moment you're missing, the only performance you'll ever get. I wish someone had told me that when I was your age. So I'm telling you now, please listen. If this hit you, if any of this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's working too much. Someone who's waiting for later. Someone who's missing their life while they're living it. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're going to do differently this week? What's one thing you've been putting off that you're going to do now? Subscribe if you want more of these conversations, because I've got more to say and not much time left to say it. Don't wait 50 years to figure this out. Please.